So this program is going to be called While Loop. It's going to be working just a little bit differently from the do while loops that we've been writing. So in this scenario, it says the park committee, your parks committee, wants to raise enough money to build a new playground. So the cost of a new playground is $10,000. The committee will need to see how much money is in the budget from last year. If there is not enough money, they will need to have some fundraisers. So what we're going to do in this program is we will have our program track how much money was raised during those fundraisers, but potentially we have enough in the budget already for this. So what we've got is we've got a loop that we may not actually want to use. So we'll have to program it in a little bit of a different way. So anyway, to get started, let's start with our variables. So we've got double. This is going to be our target value, how much money we want to raise. Double budget. This is how much money we have raised. It's in our bank, I guess. And double fundraiser will be the amount of money raised from an individual fundraiser. And then we'll also keep a count of how many fundraisers we've got. So fund count. And this is going to be our counter variable. So we're going to initialize this with the value of 0. So let's start with a couple prompts just to get our basic amounts of money set. So system.out.print, what is the cost of the purchase you wish to make? And then we'll have this, let's see, our target value is going to get input.next double. And then our next one is going to be pretty similar to this. So I'm going to just do a copy and paste and then edit the values here. So the next question is how much money is in the budget from last year? And this is where we're going to set our budget value. Okay. Now, what we want to do here is raise more money. This is the part of the program where we're going to do this, but potentially we don't need to do that. So don't program this. This is a bad version of it. So what I could do is I could set an if statement here. Again, don't program this. If the amount of the budget is larger than or equal to the target, well, I guess less than, sorry, I got the reverse. So if we don't have enough money for the target, then we can do while loop to ask for funds over and over again. But this is not good programming because we already have a mechanism that we can use for this. So potentially we might have a while loop that we don't even want to run a single time. So that's not when you want to use a do while loop. You want to organize it this way. So we're going to put the while condition at the top, which is totally fine. So while the budget is less than the target, so think about this as like an if statement for when you want to run this loop. So the while loop is always an if statement about when you want to run the loop. Just potentially this one we don't even want to run once. So if the budget is less than the target, we've got to raise some funds. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add to the fund count. And then we'll prompt them for an individual amount here. So, oops. So how much was raised from fundraiser, and then we'll put in fund count here. There we go. and then we'll do fundraiser here. There we go. So we're going to read in that value, and then what we'll have to do is we'll have to add it onto the budget. So budget plus equals fundraiser. So what's going to happen is it's going to enter here if we don't have enough money, and then if our next fundraiser gives us enough money, then what's going to happen here is it's going to go back to the top, and it's going to be a false statement, and then it will cut out. Sorry, I just realized this is a low price for like a park playground. I think 100,000 is probably more appropriate. So anyway, when we're done, so after the loop, we're going to do a system.out.println just to skip a line, and then we'll put a couple values here. So the first thing we're going to say is congratulations, you raised enough money. And then the next thing I want to say here is it required, we'll use fund count here, fundraisers. Now potentially there's only one, so we'll put the S in parentheses, and then we're going to say how much money they have left over after paying for it. So system.out.println, you have, and then what we're going to do here is we'll use a money.format, and then we're going to take the budget amount, budget minus target, and then we'll say left over. There we go. So let's run this program and see what it does. Okay, so the first example is, what is the cost of the purchase you want to make? I'm going to say 100,000. Okay, and how much money is in the budget from last year? Let's say we've got 40,000 left over. Okay, so let's do some fundraisers. So this one is 12,000. The next one is 50. Oh, no, I don't want to do that yet. 5,000. Then let's do a 30,000 and another 12,000. And let's do a really big one, 800,000. Okay, so here we go. We have congratulations. We've got, it took us 5 fundraisers, and then it gives us the amount that we have left over. So that's one scenario. Now, the other scenario is we already have enough money. I'm not going to save that now. We already have enough money from last year. So let's take a look at that example. So now I want to spend 100,000, and we already have 800,000 in the bank. So if I run this, it's going to say, congratulations, you raised enough money, you required 0 fundraisers, and it tells us how much we have left. So this here doesn't run every time. So use a while loop in the situation where you have a loop that you've created that potentially you don't even want to run a single time.